Okay, I promise I'm not trying to do vocal fry on purpose. It's just that I have roommates now. Ah, jump scare. Okay, so I don't really know exactly how to start this video. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have news that I would like to share. It's been a little while since I've been back, and there have been a few changes. My audio's better. I got bangs, bitch. I have moved away from my home. I moved to New York City. Let me just start from when I made the decision. I was doing well at this corporate job that I was in. I started my YouTube channel. I was doing the artist's way. And yet, despite all of these things, I was feeling like my mental health was just tanking. I'm crying every day. I don't know why. I've never been depressed for no reason. And I felt like I was doing everything right. I was sober. I wasn't dating anybody. I had decided that I needed to quit my job. One, because I didn't care about being an account manager at all, and two, because I was having a lot of issues with my boss. Another story for another time. My thought was, I'm going to pursue my art in Portland. I'm going to audition as much as I possibly can. I'm going to try to do some writing. I'm going to try to get on sets, even to just work as a production assistant. And I'm going to try to maybe get a barista job as a part-time side hustle. And the idea of doing that just made me feel, again, so depressed. And I didn't really have any reason why. I didn't understand why, because I was like, this all lines up with what I want to be doing. I want to act. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. Point being, I have always wanted to move to New York ever since I was 13 years old. And my grandparents would be like, we'll see you on Broadway, kid. And I was like, yes, you will. I have always wanted to move here and pursue my dreams of acting. And if I had said the quiet part out loud, it would have been like, yeah, I want to be on Broadway. I want to be in TV. I want to act and dance and sing and do all of these things. I just kind of let the fear, doubt, imposter syndrome take over, and the practical part of life take over as well, where it was just like, I need to make money. So it was this lifelong desire to pursue acting in a real way, but this half-assed version of me doing it. And basically, I felt like I had manifested my plan B life. I was always like, well, I'm going to try to become a project manager so that I can kind of fuck off during work during the day, and then I can focus on my hobby during the day when I'm working. And I'll have health insurance, and I'll be able to work from home, and I'll be making six figures, and I'll just be really secure, so I'm not struggling financially. And then in my free time, because I'll have a lot of free time, I'll focus on acting. And I literally did that. It was really hard to do that. It took me 10 years to get to that goal of mine, but that was never my goal as a kid. As a kid, my goal was to be an actor, be on the Disney Channel, be on Broadway, sing my little heart out on stage and kickball change and a jazz square and call it a day. So I was literally living this life that I had tried so hard to get, which was not even my ideal life. And I had also simultaneously worked through a lot of trauma and pain, and I'd done a lot of self work. And yet, still, I was like, why am I not reaping the benefits of this? What is the problem? And I realized it's that I don't want to be living this life at all. Realizing that is honestly really scary. It was deeply scary. And at the same time, I was deeply depressed. And I was like, well, there's something wrong with me. So I'm not even capable of moving right now to New York, until one fated day I was hanging out with one of my very close friends, and we were doing a tarot spread. And it was everything in the tarot cards were bitch, move to New York. Unbeknownst to me, behind my back, apparently I was talking about New York all the time. I was jealous of people who lived in New York. I was fantasizing about like what my life would be like in New York, and unbeknownst to me, I was doing that like all the time. My friend, she is someone who quit her great corporate job, moved into a van with her husband to write a book with her husband. And she was always encouraging me to like move to New York. And I was like, no, if I move to New York now, I'm super depressed. I'm going to have a mental breakdown. I'm not going to be able to handle New York by myself. It's crazy. That's crazy. I'll die. And she was like, yeah, but Annie, you've basically like been in hell the last several months. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're totally right. I hate my life. Not because there's anything wrong with my life, but because it is not my plan A life. It is not what I really want to be doing. I literally feel like I have arrived and I hate it here. So that day I was like, okay, I'm going to move to New York. And then I basically was like, okay, I have like 6 weeks from now until September 1st. I need to tell my landlord a date. It makes sense that I give him like 6 weeks notice. He was a good landlord. I don't want to fuck him over. And then I guess I'll just figure it all out. And that's what I did. And I also had this experience about 9 months before this of me getting rid of like half of my stuff. And it felt really liberating, like shedding scales, shedding old skin that I had been holding on to for kind of no reason. I think I'm just going to sell everything and just take the things that I really, really want, and whatever I can fit into my little sedan car, I will. And then I'll sell my car when I get to New York. And I did that. I took a road trip across the country by myself with Missy, the angel that she is. Left on September 1st, got here on September 12th, and have been here. Oh my gosh, to the day? Is today the 12th? Today's the 12th. I've been here for a month exactly. That was not planned. What? That's crazy. I'd be screaming, but I have roommates because I live in New York. But yeah, that's my story. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I should say about that. It was really hard. The parts that were really hard were the parts that I was not expecting to be hard. And the parts that were like weirdly easy were the parts that I was expecting to be really, really hard. I have taken big steps like this on a small scale before, breaking up with somebody or deciding to like move from Bend to Portland, or going to Europe by myself for 3 months. But I've never really like jumped into an entirely new life all at once and left the whole rest of it behind. I have always craved that type of intensity in my life. And I think something that like really has stuck with me since that conversation with my friend where she was like, Annie, you're in hell. I realized that life is hard, period, regardless of what you do. So you might as well make the choices that you want to make, knowing that regardless of those choices, it's going to be hard. It's kind of like you pick the type of hard that you want to live with, because either way, it's going to be hard. The hard that I was living in Portland alone, working from home, being this like corporate grown up person who was like doing the responsible thing was way harder than figuring out the interpersonal dynamics with roommates, having to deal with a more expensive, more intense city, having to start over in my acting community and having to build that from the ground up, having to work a job that's like not grown up, but more kind of like a cliche. Like, spoiler alert, I just got a catering job and I will be catering to make ends meet, and then going to auditions and practicing at acting class on my off time. They make movies about that. I feel like a cliche. I don't know why I feel like kind of embarrassed about that, but yeah, I genuinely would rather do that 10 times over than look at 10 years down the road and just see myself doing the same thing over and over again. So here I am, baby. I have jumped realities. I am on the other side of the country. I have a big time difference with my family now when I talk to them, and I couldn't be happier. Not because of the time difference. I hate that part, but like I couldn't be happier pursuing this. Even like doing this feels right. I feel like there are so many things that by pursuing plan A, I'm allowing so many parts of myself to come out. And it's almost like there is no choice. It's almost like there's no other option. Once you start pursuing what you really, really want, then the parts of you that are most authentic just happen to come out. This channel used to be called Jesus is My Girlfriend, and I used to talk about my childhood trauma on there. And then I transitioned 6 months ago and just wanted to focus on my art. And I posted every day for 30 days, and then I got super effing depressed. I want this channel to just kind of be a document, a living document of pursuing my art and figuring out how I'm going to make it work. What I learned from this experience is like, sometimes being depressed is a chemical imbalance. Sometimes being depressed is the residual effects of trauma that happened in your life. And sometimes it's you not listening to your inner voice, your intuition, your higher self, God, whatever you want to call it, that you're being prompted to do something different and you're not doing it. I got off medication not because of any reason other than I just didn't need it. And I feel really compelled to pursue my art with wild abandon. I don't know exactly what I want to do with this channel other than I want to practice posting things that are unpolished or that are my actual art form rather than trying to conform myself to a niche that is going to do well on the algorithm that people are going to like. I have tried that a couple times and it was not sustainable for me. So, what you can expect from this channel is just that, a living document of my creative journey. And oh, what is that called? Like, oh, my portfolio. I'll be building my portfolio. Like, it will be like my sketchbook or my repertoire. It could be anything. It really could be anything. So, stay tuned. I got nothing for you other than that. My life has drastically changed, and so this channel will probably drastically change. Hopefully for the better, because my life has drastically changed for the better. And my haircut has too. So until next time, chat soon. Bye. I think we did it. I think it's working now. I still don't know if I have a good ASMR voice. I guess we'll find out. I think I will hate it regardless of how it sounds. So I'm just telling myself that right now. You're going to hate it, but that doesn't mean that other people will hate it. It just means that you will hate it. But maybe not forever. Maybe you'll end up loving the sound of your own voice. But the amount that I talk, you would think that I do. But it actually sounds like if a guinea pig were a person, but trying to sound sexy.